Welcome. I've got my co-host and CEO of Virtudesk, Pavel Stepanov, a good friend of mine. Pavel, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, man? We have a great guest, a good friend of mine, Diana Matichan. She is a rock star agent from Chicago, Illinois, and I've known her for 7 years. It's going to be 7 years this January since we met at the Tom Ferry event, and she's been dominating the Instagram. She's been doing it like amazingly. So we wanted to bring over and so she could share some knowledge. She's an amazing person, great looking woman, and rock star agent. So Diana, how are you doing?
I am doing great, Pavel. Thank you. I remember role playing for sale by owner scripts with you.
I remember we've done that. Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
Thank you for having me on.
Diana, thanks for jumping on. We're really excited to talk to you about Instagram because the two social platforms that we've seen take off even more over the last year and a half are TikTok and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And Reels specifically, right? The short videos. And you're doing such a great job with your Instagram. We have some questions for you, but first, I want us to for you to introduce who you are, how long you've been in the business, and why you gravitate to Instagram over everything else.
Great, absolutely. My name is Diana Matichan. I'm a realtor from Chicago, originally from Ukraine, and I've been in the business for 8 years, done over 400 transactions since then. Started with a lot of cold calling, and that was my very first thing. So I had 11 transactions my first year. A lot of them were from cold calling, specifically expireds, and for sale by owners because I didn't really know too many people in Chicago at the time. And I figured open houses or cold calling, that was my only avenue because no budget. So that was easy. But then I figured it's, if you do the same thing, you get the same result. And obviously I didn't want the same results. I wanted to grow my business. So I was looking into adding in something different for my business and something different that will help me grow my business, not just add 1 or 2 transactions, because that doesn't really make a lot of a difference. And Instagram seemed to be a good source for a lot of agents. What I've noticed is that a lot of agents did a very commercial looking page, more like just listed, just sold. Oh, look at me, I'm an agent, that kind of stuff. And I don't like reading that. I know nobody else likes to read that. So I partner up with another lady that's my marketing manager now, and we put together a theme for my page. We put together an idea what will be behind my page. Like every post will be in a specific theme. For example, me being a woman, a mom, a real estate agent. So having motivational posts, real estate posts, and posts like that. So that is kind of why we gravitated towards that. And I'll tell you honestly, the payoff does not come right away. But like with everything, you have to put in a lot of effort, a lot of work into it, a lot of money too. And then within a year, I saw it explode, and it's been amazing ever since.
All right. So I'm showing your Instagram page here. Can we go over this first right here? Because I think a lot of people miss this. And you've made it so simple for us to follow with one link. So tell me the reasoning behind this part right here.
Bio is very important. I actually see a lot of agents that message me, and I can tell they're an agent, but I have no idea where they service. Where is their really marketplace? And even if I would want to connect with them or refer them business, I would never remember that person because I have no place in my mind where I put them to. So being an agent is great, but you also have to be really specific on where you are an agent. So for example, like what do you do? Do you do leases or do you help buying and selling homes? And where do you do that? I put the Tom Ferry guest speaker because I was on Tom Ferry's stage, and I got a lot of agents joining me as well on social media. I have a lot of agents that get a lot of ideas from my reels. So put it out there as well. And obviously I want to focus on seller marketing. So I also added the real estate marketing magic.
I love that.
In few posts.
Awesome. Yeah.
When we were doing some case studies, we did Diana Magic as a hashtag. So that's kind of why it's there.
Oh, so hold on really quick, because real estate marketing magic, that's your twist. And then you mentioned the hashtag. Do you use a specific hashtag for your post, something that's different, that's only you?
It depends which post. I have a few styles of posts. Like if there was one about my story of how I came here, I have a hashtag for that. I think it's Diana's story or Diana coming to America, something like that. And then I have another one, Diana's Magic, which is for basically, we did a case study for a seller, for different sellers. So we have a few, and then I have Diana Matichan, then I have Chicago broker, real estate broker, specifically like different towns broker, the small little towns in Chicago that I do. So I do a lot of those hashtags. And interestingly enough, people do find me through hashtags. So hashtags do work.
It's the searcher. It's how people search on both Instagram and TikTok. So Absolutely. That makes sense. So this guide thing, not a lot of people use the guide thing. How do you use it? And do you use it often?
It's more like a brochure. Like if you're thinking about physical business where you come in and there is a brochure there where you can look if you choose to or not. A guide is something I feel like if somebody's actually looking for a realtor and they're looking at me and on Instagram, this would be a great thing for them to take a look. We have a guide for the seller. So how it is to sell the house, meet the team. We have some community spotlights. So that I feel like is a great thing for someone that doesn't really want to take a long time scrolling through my whole feed, but is a genuinely interested person that's a seller or a buyer. It will be a great kind of a summary of some posts that I did.
Got it. And then the reels, do you make all of your own reels? Because I know Pavel and I, even though we shoot them, some of our virtual team,
we have virtual assistants make them. Yeah.
So
that's great that you have someone helping. Well, so I have my marketing manager that comes and shoots them with me. We come and we meet, and a lot of times we do 7 at a time, 10 at a time, depending on how the day goes and on the content that we do shoot. And it's very important that the agent doesn't put the reels together themselves, because that's a timely venture to do. Like even to put together a small reel with a text and a music, it takes 15, 20 minutes that you could be making phone calls or talking to a seller or buyer. So if you have someone who's virtual assistant and can do that, it's time that you're earning back. And it will be a big benefit to have that.
I like that. All right. So question for you, because I'm noticing that you've had some that go viral, 50,000, 70,000, 60,000. It's pretty good. I love that. Mm-hmm. When you're shooting, where do you get your ideas from? Do you do some research before? Do you plan this out, or are some of them just sporadic?
Definitely not sporadic. Before we meet, there's one that's 108,000, which was very interesting.
Ooh, I have to find that one.
We put together a strategy. So before we meet, so for example, I'm meeting with my marketing manager on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, every day before that, I consume content. So I go on Instagram and I consume reels. Basically, I look through the reels, sometimes for hours, so I can get ideas of what's trending, what I like, what I don't like. For example, lip syncing, I don't like that much. I don't really do a lot of that. I do some, but I don't really do as much as it's popular. And then I look into the songs. So what song can I apply to what situation as a realtor? I just did one today, which was Adele, hello. And it's me calling the past client, hello, it's me. I'll be wondering if you would like to meet, so it applies to that situation. So we put together the ideas in Evernote or whatever app you use. And then when we come and we meet, it's a very productive time together. We shoot one at a time and right after another. So we don't sit and think what to shoot. Everything is already planned out. And the way you plan things and find ideas is that by looking at other realtors, looking what other moms are doing or somebody else that you like, and then coming up with your own ideas. Throughout the day, when you have any situation in real estate that's a funny situation or not, you can put that into a reel and make it relatable to not just a realtor, but also a regular person, a buyer or a seller.
I like that. So question then in regards to content, do you gravitate to more storytelling, engaging about talking about real estate or your family? What do you how do you balance all that out in regards to content? Because I think that's the number one challenge most people have. It's like, well, what do I put out there?
Mm-hmm. You want to have multiple different buckets, right? So it could be a family bucket, real estate bucket, motivation bucket. And I do reels in all of those buckets. So anytime that I post a reel about real estate, next time I post about family. Next time after that, I post about motivation. And then we go all over again. So going through that is important. If you just do real estate, people are going to get bored of that. If you just do family, people are going to get bored of that. So it has to be a good mix.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta mix it up. Absolutely. You know, I totally agree with you. That's amazing. Yeah. Go ahead.
I have a question, Pavel. We found Pavel. We found the 108,000 one. There it is.
Yeah, right there.
So what do you think? You look back, it's easy to look back and be like, ooh, that one was a good one. I knew it'd do well. But I mean, let's look back at it and be like,
2,300 likes and 67 comments. Yeah. And
insane.
views just, yeah.
Why do you think that one went viral?
It was a popular sound. So there was of Phoebe Buffet from France laughing. And that was a popular trend of that basically of that sound. But that also was a very popular situation. So that was of people putting contingent offers. And then basically I'm laughing, ha ha ha. I've never seen it happen in this market. So it's a trending situation and it's a trending sound. And together you have a very good situation where realtors, buyers can relate to. And the more people can relate to it, the more views you're going to get, because it's going to get viewed more and liked more. And then that's how Instagram pushes it to more people.
I like that. Let me take a look at it because these aren't usually very long, right? Let's view it. Oh. I like that. So humor. And I think what I'm listening here to you say is the trending situation and the trending sound together are key to you really connecting with more people out there.
Exactly.
So when do you have the time to do the research on, let's say you go on Instagram and just go in, is it just random whenever, or do you actually sit down and be like, I wonder what I can find today on Instagram? How does that go?
Absolutely. It's not just scrolling. It's I'm intentionally looking for ideas. And if I hear a sound, if I hear a song, I wonder, okay, so what can I apply it to? What situation can I apply it to in my life, in real estate life, as a mom or as an entrepreneur? And then how can I make it my own spin? Because copying reels is definitely okay. It's encouraged. And sometimes when you go on explore feed for reels, you will see the exact same reel being repeated by exact same mimics and all of that. It's not interesting. So you want to make it your own, even if it's the exact same sound and the idea is similar to, for example, mine. Make a difference. So your audience, even if they saw mine before, they see yours and they can kind of laugh at it too, or they can kind of relate to it too. So you want to make it your own. You want to make also something that's relatable to you. So there are plenty of realtors out there that are great with comedy videos and do put really interesting videos out there. I know it's not me. So if I try to repeat something like that, it wouldn't look right. And I know people would be like, what's wrong with her? So I don't want to step out of my lane. I stay in my branded zone. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. And if something that I see, it's really cool and I love it, but it's not me, I'm not going to do anything like that. So when I'm sitting down, let's say it's an hour or half an hour today, half an hour tomorrow. And while I'm eating lunch or while I'm doing something different, I'm going to go through reels. I'm going to go through music that's on Instagram and see what I can apply or change it to and what can apply to my business too.
What are thoughts about having business and personal Instagram accounts? Do you only have one? She says, I have 3 and can share same reels to all 3 if I want. What are your thoughts on that, Diana?
That is interesting. Well, so my thought is if I want all my followers and I want to grow on something, I focus on one thing. So that's why if I have one account, it's my account. I don't have business and social and personal because I don't really put out information about my kids and stuff like that. So I'm very conscious about what I'm putting into the Instagram. It's not where I brag about my kids. It's not where I brag about my husband, for example. It's just me and my business and some mom and motivational being a woman kind of a page. And that's why I don't have a few, because if I want to drive audience somewhere, I want it to be one place, not three different places. And I don't want to have overlapping audience that they see 3 times the same reel. So it wouldn't be, I wouldn't do it personally, but maybe it works out for you, Rebecca. So I don't know.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer. I think it's slightly different for everybody's testing out things. So I like the way you're doing it, Diana. Here's the other question from Denise. What's up, Denise? Hope you're doing well. Are you getting any buyer or seller leads from Instagram?
Absolutely. I actually
That's the whole idea, right?
Exactly. I think Instagram is like your website, or is like your virtual business card. Because if I need a hairstylist, I don't go on Google. I go on Instagram and I say Chicago hairstylist. Or if I need a makeup artist, which I was looking for a makeup artist, I just put in makeup artist in Dallas. And I found one that I liked what she was doing in Instagram. I connected and I was very happy with my experience. So the newer generation, I think, is looking for something like this, that you have a great Instagram page. It's not just listed, just sold. It's not stock photos. It's not just text or some overused motivational quotes. It's an actual story that you're talking about a client, yourself, even something that happened to you, like a client stood me up. Oh my gosh, now I'm sitting here. I don't know what to do. Let me answer some questions from you guys. So something that's superhuman. I know there are agents out there that have big teams, and into their personal account, they also say, oh, shout out to this team member and this team member and this team member. That's really nice. And I can see that being a good idea, or actually creating a second page for an account like that. But if I do my own page, I get leads because people relate to me as a person. And I had a $1.8 million listing from my Instagram, specifically a person that I followed, that followed me back. We've been in touch for a year. And after a year, she sold her house with me. And I had multiple other sales that were specifically from Instagram, because I've stayed in touch with those potential clients. I didn't even know they were clients, but they've been watching what I was doing. They like the content. It's relatable. It's something that they can laugh at or kind of think, oh, I can relate to this. And later on, they contact you without you even knowing they were a buyer or seller.
So that's the way to stay at top of mind for those people. You basically, because they look at your stories, they look at your reels, because everybody's on Instagram, So
yeah.
That's just the way to do it. That's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
All right, good answer again. Let's see what your answer is to the next one, Diana. I'm just joking. We've got a few questions here. So, Latricia, what's up, Latricia? Wyatt, how long did it take you to receive buyer and seller leads once you started doing videos? Because you did say it took a while, right? So, what do you think that progress was? Do you remember?
It was almost exactly a year before I started getting actual buyers, actual sellers from Instagram. I know I had some inquiries before that were kind of thinking, or they had some other agents. I had people that were messaging me, I love your content, but I already have an agent. So I had people like that. But it does take a while. It's nothing different than farming. It's nothing different than sending postcards for a year and then seeing returns and seeing people calling you to list their home. It's just like that.
Yeah, good answer too. Well, I would add something to that. If you were paying attention to, so Diana is speaking from experience. She's telling you to look at the trending sounds and the trending topics. The more you do that, the more likely your videos will get a lot more traction. If you do happen to do a lot more of those, what happens is then more people will see them and more people will comment. And from that, you can start gaining even a faster traction. So look, it could be sooner than a year, but I would tend to agree with Diana that it's going to take a while. You have to show up daily. How often are you posting right now, Diana?
Every single day, sometimes twice a day. And we definitely have lots of stories. So at least 5-10 stories every single day as well. Typically, they tie into a post as well. So if we do a listing post, which I do as well, and I'll do, for example, this is the house, there's the picture, a little bit about the house, but then in the stories, I'll talk about the community, how close it is to metro station, to train station, for example, to a coffee house, a little bit more about the community, or what's the, something that you wouldn't know about the community. So I'll talk about that. And people find it very interesting because we live in the suburbs, but there are so many little towns. And I'm sure in every part of town is like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. How do you incorporate your VA into your daily Instagram posting, process photos to posting? Thanks. I'll answer that one. We have, she's now a friend. She's been with me for a while. Her name is June. And she's the one that processes a lot of the pictures. She finds a lot of the content that I put out in other places, and she curates it and then posts it into Instagram. One of the things that she does really well, Sophie, is I do read a lot. So she grabs some of the stuff I send on my newsletter and then creates a post out of that in Instagram and then shares it with people. So I think for most people listening in, if you can have your VA say, hey, look, why don't you comb where I typically go to, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, or find whatever I've put out there and then curate that and post it on Instagram. That'll give you extra content to put up, because Diana said she's posting 1 to 2 times a day into her feed. She's also posting 5 to 10 times in her story, right? And I find that it takes a while for people to post into stories. They have to get used to it, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So this is where our VAs come in handy. It's always the in-between stuff for us, right? And I know Pavel, you have your VAs posting directly into your feed and to Reels.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They fully edit
of course.
everything for
Yeah.
you.
I mean, basically the way we do it is sometimes she messaged me and she said, okay, I want you to record several videos. So I do like the change of clothes, so it doesn't look like it was done on the same day, and I go ahead and record them here at my, office studio and upload them to her. And she's basically, fixes them up, puts the captions, we put some cool stuff to it, and she's posting them at the time that they need to be posted. Like, for example, for this webinar, we had an announcement like 3 days before. We had an announcement on the day of the webinar, and this is also me saying, hey, we got a good friend of mine, Diana Matichan, we're going to be interviewing her. So I recorded those actually on Monday, I think. And what was it, Monday or Friday? Basically, I recorded them a few days ago and uploaded them. I did like a little bit of change, so I don't look the same. And she's posting them at the time that they need to be posted. I don't bother with that. So, and it's out there, but it's all in a business Instagram. And I think they've engaged you and they talked to you as well, Diana. You spoke with some of our VAs probably, on this regard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually important that you don't rely on yourself to post stuff, because in real estate world, things happen all the time. Like, I know for me, the good engagement time is a bit between 10 and 11. So my person puts the post out exactly at 10 o'clock, between 10 and 10:30. If I relied on me, the post either would never go out, or they would go out like super late in the day and would not really get the
because you don't have time. You're driving to to meet with the client, you're meeting with the client. Your job is to negotiate deals, not to post it Instagram. This is basically have to be done by somebody else. Exactly. That's why you leverage that. You still
and I like the idea with pre-recording videos. We do the same thing. A lot of times if I go somewhere to a place, or let's say I go to a coffee shop, I'll take some videos, I'll take some photos, I'll put them into OneDrive where my person can see what is out there. And I say, okay, this is that cafe. And she'll go into a story, she'll post it into a story, tag the cafe, or she'll make a reel out of it. So you can do that very interestingly with very little effort on your part, with a lot of support on the back end.
Yeah. All right, good. And we have more. So get ready, Diana. What can you attribute to actually growing your followers on Instagram? Is it Reels? What is it?
It definitely started when I started posting more regularly. But I'll say one thing. When we did start, I first started copying other agents' stuff. So, for example, here's a farmer's market, and I have a photo of a farmer's market. Instead of me going to the farmer's market, taking a picture of myself being at the farmer's market. So that kind of stuff is very important. If you want to do it really quickly, you can put in a stock photo. Maybe you'll get a like or 3 likes, and maybe that information will be helpful. But for me, it started paying off when I hired a photographer and we went out and we took different photos. Or if I take time and I go to places where it will be me, my face, or some picture that I take. And that started resonating with a lot more people. I get a lot more engagement. And then those people either comment or they share the information. The second thing I'll say is that giveaways. Giveaways is a great way to get more followers from your friends, which will be also awesome people to follow. And I do them once a month now, and I get lots of new followers every month.
So tell me about the photographer. How does that work? Somebody follows you, you hired them. What's the cost? How often do you meet them? A lot of questions.
Photographer is a great investment because those photos you can reuse for all different purposes. Could be Instagram, could be your website, a postcard. So we use those photos and they're worth what I'm paying for them. And it could be anything. If it's a starting photographer, they can charge you $100 or $150. They still have, everybody has an iPhone with great camera. It doesn't even have to be a super fancy camera.
True.
But there are lots of even moms at home that have cameras. They want to do photography. So I work with a lot of different people, and $200 per photo session, and you get 50 photos that are photoshopped and ready to be used. And I meet with them once a month.
Question: what platform do you get the most interaction from? Is one more active than the other, Diana?
Platform meaning posts or
social media platform: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah, definitely Instagram. Not even a question.
You don't do TikTok?
I don't.
All right, good answer. Here's a further answer, Jacqueline.
My son is doing TikTok, and he's got 3 million views on one of his videos.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Yeah. But he's got gamer content, gamers. That's
Dude,
what they
share that video with me. I want to see that.
I will send it to you.
So Jacqueline, I would say look to where you have your most followers right now, and then consistently post there and get used to doing that, because I think we overthink it, right? Diana went all in on Instagram, right? And that's where she's at. But if you already have a great following on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, then go there first and then build out the rest after. So don't get distracted by trying to be everywhere.
Right.
All right, we've got Michael. What's up, Michael, from Germany? We have somebody from Michael. What time is it in Germany, buddy? I always forget. I ask you this like every week. All right, but here's this question. Can someone please explain to me again the difference between Reels, Feed, and Story? Are they different target groups? Thank you very much. It's 8:30 p.m. in Germany. Thanks, Michael.
Oh, great for tuning in. Different type of content. Reels, it's definitely entertainment based. It has to be something fun for people to watch. It breaks up your feed. If you just do posts, it's kind of a similar, too many of the same things. You want to break it up. Stories, it disappears in 24 hours, so you can post so many different things. And I've noticed that more people actually watch my stories sometimes than they do the posts, because sometimes I feel like people are so tired of scrolling, they just go on the story and then it goes right away automatically. So I feel like you have to do both, because also Instagram starts pushing your content if you do both and you're being consistent.
What are the top trends you're seeing on Instagram right now that could be helpful for business owners using the platform?
The reel is the biggest one, obviously. And I see a lot of business owners, if, for example, you're not a realtor, you can use this in so many different ways. You can show your business, your products, show your people, your team. So the reel doesn't have to be, like dancing and pointing to things, although you can do that, of course. But you can definitely see some ideas, even search for other businesses like yours, what somebody else is doing in California or, Los Angeles, and see what they're doing. What is it that you like or don't like, and make it your own and get your ideas. If you don't really have ideas right away, it's easy to find something similar and make it your own.
Yeah, that's it. And I think it's a hard question to answer as well, because the trends are always changing. So Diana and I are always on social doing research and saying, oh, that's a great song, and I see what it's attached to. Right. And then we try to emulate that. So Ken, it's hard. You need to do a lot more research. You need to set time away and say, hey, for this next hour, or 30 minutes. I'm going to go in on TikTok. I'm going to go in on Instagram, Reels, specifically Reels, and look to see what the music, what the trends are, maybe what other agents are doing that's working, and then do it in your own style. So great question for everybody. Marsha's got one. Do you see any benefits in doing paid ads on Instagram? Do you advertise on Instagram, Diana?
I did. In the past, we had quite a few posts that we did as promotion, and just as a post that did very well, and we boosted it to get more attention. I haven't seen the results that I wanted to see. I haven't spent $1,000 on it. So I spent maybe $200, $300, $400 total. So I found organic engagement is the best. For example, if I go to a business, let's say I'm going to get a coffee right now. I'm going to go to a local coffee shop, not Starbucks, and I'm going to tag a coffee shop when I'm going to go there with my hand, with a coffee and my face. I'm going to tag them. Usually they reposted. Then I go back to that business and see what followers they have, who I can relate to. For example, another young mom, and I follow them, and I don't just follow them, but I go on their page and I comment on their things. So for example, if I see it's beautiful dog, that's exactly what I say. It's lovely kids. Oh, that's awesome. I have 4-year-old twins, so I try to connect that person. And that's how I established so many relationships where now we're more like friends than just Instagram followers.
I like that. So
Amazing.
Really,
this is
really
so
good
smart.
advice.
Yeah.
All right, we got one last question. Here we go. Daniela, were you always naturally comfortable on camera? What advice do you have for someone that's not comfortable and shy?
Yes. First is the mindset. I used to be what you call shy before I got into real estate. When I got in real estate, I thought maybe I was still shy. I was not in sales. I was kind of in a cubicle, being an assistant to a CEO. That's all I was. And I changed my mindset. I read a lot of books and I did a lot of affirmations. I'm great on video. I am confident. I am a confident public speaker. So start with that, because the mindset is what's going to change it. And don't take yourself too seriously, because we take life seriously, but we don't take ourselves too serious. It's okay to laugh at yourself. And, the second thing that Tom Ferry always talks about, people either way know how you are and see you all the time. So if you come off on the video and you feel like, oh, my voice sounds silly, it's how it is in person. It is what it is. I can't change it. That's how my hair is. I wish it was different, but it is not. So I just go with it. It's better doing that than going for perfection.
Diana, you rock. Let's do an Instagram live over the next 2 weeks together. I think it'd be great. Some great tips that we can add. Are you down for that?
Sounds great.
10 minutes, we could do that. Then I'll reach out to you. Pavel, thanks for co-hosting this with me, buddy.
Of course.
Great.
Thank Diana for showing up and for sharing your wisdom, girl.
Great value.
Really appreciate it.
Well.
Great value, Diana. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Have
Thanks,
a great
everybody.
day.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Diana. Bye-bye.